Hello, and welcome back to another coaching video. Today we're going to talk about split pushing. Firstly, I love split pushing. When I used to main top, most of the champions I played and my best macro skill was split pushing. It is a tactic that is sneaky, logical, and for the most part completely in your hands of its power. But before we continue talking about split pushing, 98% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribed, and would greatly appreciate it if you just hit that button. It is completely free and you're coming back anyways, so why not hit it? So, split pushing. This macro tactic is a solo adventure that requires skill, knowledge, and map awareness to pull off right. But what is split pushing to begin with? Split pushing is a strategy where you go into a side lane away from your main team to add pressure and create a distraction to force players to either come to you or you end the game by yourself. The whole goal of split pushing is to make the enemy split up in order to defend against the constant pressure you are adding, and will ultimately give your team an advantage. This tactic is not always the best in all cases, and you need to consider the team's composition, the enemy's tendencies, how good the map awareness the team has, and if a jungle objective is up. So, now we know what split pushing is, but it isn't a tactic that can be used the best by all roles and champions. Let's first talk about roles. In most cases, top laners are by far the best split pushers, but they still can be substituted by mid laners as well. The reason why these roles are so good at split pushing is number 1, teleport. Most champions in these roles run TP, which allows them to be in 2 places at the same time. So not only can you split push a lane, you can also switch up your tactic and TP to a fight for an objective. The second reason why these 2 lanes are good at split pushing is the champs themselves. We will talk about that a little bit later, but just know that not all the champions in these roles are meant to split push, and some of them are better than others. The next role that can technically split push is jungle, but they can run into a lot of issues. Since jungle is such an important role for jungle objectives like Baron and Dragons, they can't really stay away from the team all the time. Also, most of the champions that are in this role don't have the best split pushing capabilities like a top champ or a mid champ, but some cases like my main Bel'Veth can be very good at accomplishing a split push. But again, the role requires you to be around objectives and clearing your jungle camps, so sometimes it can be hard to start a split. Lastly, these 2 roles are obviously almost never supposed to split push, and that is ADC and support. I don't think I need to go over support as it seems kind of explanatory on why they can't split. ADCs, on the other hand, just don't check the boxes of a good split push champ. They are very squishy, don't have the best 1v1 capabilities, and for the most part require a lot of support from the team to do their damage. So, let's talk about what makes a good split push champion. Number 1 is their 1v1 capabilities. These champions need to excel at dueling opponents and coming out on top. The reason for this is because split pushing can be stopped pretty easily if the other champion that is matching you is able to 1v1 you, and when you die in a split push, it can be a heavy blow on your team's chances of winning. Number 2 is their tower taking ability. The whole reason we want to split push is in order to add pressure. The less time we give them, the better, so the faster we take towers, the less time they will have to stop us from destroying their entire base. Most champs that are good at taking towers have some type of ability that can be used on towers, increases their attack speed, or have auto resets. Some of the abilities in League of Legends are able to refresh the cooldown of your autos, and make them come back quicker. Think of stuff like Nasus Q, Garen Q, and Darius W. You can auto and then immediately use your ability to do a quick 1-2 that can do more damage. Most of these abilities can work on towers, and can make you take towers extremely quickly. Number 3 is their wave clear. Just like what we talked about in tower taking ability section, the whole reason we want to split push is in order to add pressure, and the less time we give them, the more pressure they will have, and the less time to save their towers. So clearing waves faster is another thing that can make a good split pusher. Lastly, number 4 is their slipperiness. These champions need to excel at being slippery and have great escaping potential. If the split pusher dies, that can be a heavy blow on their team, but the longer they stay alive, the more pressure they can apply. It is also super demoralizing and tilting to see your 3 teammates go to kill a split pusher to only see that they get away on a sliver of health and the enemy takes a Baron or Dragon because of it. Now that we talked about the 5 characteristics of what makes a good split pusher, let's talk about some of the best split pushers in top and mid. For the top lane, there are a bunch of split pushers to use. Some are easy, some are hard, and some can even still be a good team fighter when the time matters. Here are the split pushers I can recommend. Yorick is one of the simplest split pushers in the game and is generally only good at doing that one job. He has 3 of the characteristics of a split pusher, having great 1v1 capabilities, tower taking abilities, and lastly, wave clear. The only problem with Yorick is that he is heavily reliant on having his maiden, and also has 0 mobility that can make him easier to kill when he is not paying attention to the map. If you don't like Yorick, I can recommend Trundle as another easy split push champion for you. He has a little more mobility than Yorick and still is very easy to pick up. Secondly, let's go somewhere in the middle of pretty okay split pushing capabilities, but can still team fight if they are ever needed. Set is a pretty okay split pusher that requires a little bit of time to get used to. Just like Yorick, he has 3 of the characteristics of a good split pusher, of having good 1v1, tower taking ability, and wave clear, but again, lacks the mobility and slipperiness to get away when caught. But unlike Yorick, he has pretty good team fighting capabilities with his abilities. He can be an amazing disruptor in a fight, but requires a bit of setup to pull off something crazy. I can also recommend Camille as another option. She has better split pushing, better mobility, and overall same teamfight disruption, but is way harder to learn. If you are up for the challenge, she can be an absolute monster. Lastly, let's just talk about the perfect split pushers. These champs have basically all the characteristics of what makes a good split pusher, but they are generally a little more difficult because of it. Jax, I would say, can be the first one. He accomplishes all of the boxes for a good split pusher, and can even go beyond being a pretty good team fighter as well. Same thing with Gwen, if you're looking for an AP split pusher. If you're looking for someone a bit harder, Fiora can be a monster of a split pusher, and can absolutely destroy a base in minutes, but she requires a bunch of time to master. There are still a bunch of split pusher champions in the top lane, but naming them all and their strengths would be an immense challenge, but every split pusher has a different playstyle and can do better at certain characteristics than others. Try as many as you like until you find the perfect one for you. Mid lane has fewer split pushers and generally don't split as much as top laners, but they can still do this job extremely well. One class that can do really well is Assassins. They basically have all the characteristics of a good split pusher, having great mobility, wave clear, damage, and 1v1 capabilities, but if a tank matches them, they are pretty much sitting ducks. One champ I can heavily recommend is Diana. She has the best matching characteristics of a split pusher compared to a lot of other mid laners, and can even build away from Assassin and go bruiser or tank killer with stuff like Nashor's and Leandri's Torment. We have finished talking about what split pushing is and what champs and roles are meant to split push, so let's finally start talking about how to actually split push. First, when does a split push even begin? A split push begins once you pass the middle mark of the lane going towards the enemy's base. Before we start a split push, let's get some rules down about what questions we should ask ourselves. When starting a split push, first ask ourselves if an objective is coming up. Do we have TP? Where are the enemies on the map? And is my team adding pressure anywhere else on the map? All of these questions are super important to know before we start doing a split, as they can change how we split, where we split, and when we should split. Here is a few examples on the differences. You are pushing top when Dragon is coming up. You have TP, and the enemies are all at the bottom of the map. In this scenario, we should split, as it forces someone to come up to us, and when they do, we can just TP for the dragon fight. If nobody comes up, we can continue the split if we don't care for the drag, and tell our teammates to back off as we can take multiple towers. If we do care about the drag, no big deal, we can still TP and help our team secure it if you think it's a winning fight. And not only could you get the drag and win the fight, the enemy team will lose the entire top wave you were pushing into their tower, doing a double whammy. Let's change the scenario just a bit. Everything in the scenario is exactly the same, except we just don't know where the enemy is at all. This is when we should not split. They can be lurking around the top lane and trying to get us killed, and if we die, they can immediately either force a Baron in a 5v4 situation, or go to a drag after they kill you. We can counter this by waiting around in the top bushes a while until we know where they are. Once we know we are safe, we can start the split. Let's talk about one more scenario. You are in the middle of your split push in the top lane. You have TP, and your team is pushing mid. No objectives are coming up. The enemies are currently around the top side of the jungle. This is when we should put our split push on hold. We don't want to completely get rid of our pressure, but chilling out for a while might be the best move until the enemy makes a mistake on chasing you or going for a mid fight. If they chase you, your team will continue pushing mid and take towers. If they go for the mid fight, we can do the same thought process in the first scenario of TPing or not, depending on how you think it'll turn out. So these rules are not only for when we want to start a split push, but also when we are doing one. We need to constantly gather information to see if our split push is meaningful or not, and if we are in trouble and should back off. An easy tip to follow is to always split push on the opposite side of an objective when we have TP, and when we don't, split on the same side so we can still help if needed. There are still so many cases when it comes down to what you should do, and sometimes splitting on the opposite side of the map without TP is more beneficial, but that comes with a lot of thorough knowledge and skill of split pushing. This can be boiled down to do not die for nothing. Dying on a split push can be very bad for your team, as it will be a 5v4 on the map for the rest of your death timer, so we want to make sure we get something out of our split push. It can be a trade of kills, multiple kills, a free objective, or a tower. 2 towers in this game are by far the most worth towers to die for in every single game. These 2 outer turrets are special compared to the other towers in the game. Every single tower gives you a certain amount of gold to you and to your team once you destroy it. You also lose all the local gold if minions take out the tower with nobody around. Local gold meaning only people who help destroy it will get that gold. These 2 towers specifically in the top lane and the bot lane give a whopping 675 total local gold to the people that took it out, and 25 bonus gold for each team member. That is worth more than 2 kills in a game, making a death almost always worth it. One last thing about split pushing before the end of this video, split pushing is only enhanced by some variables. TP is one of the biggest variables on making a split push better. As explained a bunch before, it lets you be at 2 places at a time. Another big variable is objectives like Dragon and Baron. Objectives naturally draw people towards them, and when they do go for them, it can make a split push that much better. Lastly, another variable that can make split pushing better is splitting while your team is pushing on the other side of the map. Focusing on one lane can be very easy to defend, but the more we can spread out their numbers, the more likely the enemy can make a mistake. And that is all I have for split pushing. This tactic is an amazing skill that you should put into your arsenal, as it can actually help you win games by yourself when your team is not doing too well. This tactic takes a bunch of time to master, and sometimes it is not always a good time to split, but gather as much info as you can so you can make the best call of what to do. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I am still offering free coaching VOD reviews for a limited time for anyone that would like them. Just go into the description of this video and add me on Discord so we can get one started for you. If you think this video missed anything, please leave a comment. I hope your 2025 climb has been going well, and I hope this video helped you in some way. Good luck on your climbs.